Hello guys, today I'm just making a video on some basic insights on how to solve questions related to the topic integration. I know many of you guys have this concept coming up for your A-level maths exam, so hopefully this video can help you all in order to understand these concepts. By the way, I'm going to be doing 5 questions in total, so do watch the whole video because I'm going to move on from the easiest question to the most hardest question in the 5th question so that it can help you guys grasp the knowledge of integration fully. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot. And yeah, let's start with the video. All right. So integration. What is integration mainly about? The fundamental theorem of calculus states that integration is like the inverse process of what differentiation is. By the way, this whole video is technically about the form of theorem which relates to indefinite integration. So the integration we're doing here is all indefinite integration, okay? So the main idea is integration, opposite of differentiation. That's all you need to know. You should also be knowing the symbol. This just means dy over dx. That's just a notation form of when we integrate the concepts. Okay. So now integration. The formula that I like you guys to take down in your notes is this formula. So this is an integration formula style of what we have to do is that you have a symbol that looks like an F, but with the line cut out. That is your integral sign, as you guys can see on the video. Then x raised to the power n just represents any value except for -1. Now I'm going to give you the reason why in a few moments. So d over dx, that's there as well, is equivalent to x raised to the power of n plus 1. Now whatever the power is in your question, you have to add a positive 1 to that, and you have to divide it by the new power that you have got from adding positive 1. And by the way, many people tend to leave out this positive c. This positive c is really critical when dealing with integration. Do add it whenever you're solving integration type questions. That just represents the constant of integration. Now I'm going to give you a reason why we should not let why n should not be equivalent to -1. Now if we had to do the integration of x raised to the power -1 or dx, that would make it x raised to the power -1. By using the formula above, we have to add 1 to the power, a positive 1, divided by the new power. So you know that -1 plus 1, that becomes a 0. So that's going to become x raised to the power of 0 divided by 0. And dividing by 0 is undefined in all cases. So this equation, or let's say this form of integration, is not allowed when n is equivalent to -1. It should not be allowed. The reason is because this is undefined. You cannot divide anything by 0. All right? So that's why we should take all the values of n except for -1. Okay, so hopefully you guys have taken down this integration formula. And okay, let's move on to the questions. That's the most important bits in understanding integration fully. So now starting with the easiest question, we know that integration of x raised to the power 3 dx. What you need to do is you write down the symbol. Okay, I'm going to use a different color pen in this case, so it's better to understand. It's going to be equivalent to integral symbol. X raised to the power 3 dx is going to be equivalent to, let's say, that since we're doing that, it's going to be x raised to the power 3 plus 1. Since we have to add positive 1 to the power, that's the rule of the formula. If you look above here, you have n plus 1 divided by your new power, which is going to be 3 plus 1. That's going to be 4 if we do the equation. And also add a positive c. That is the constant of integration. It could be any value in that case. So your final answer should look like x raised to the power 4 divided by 4 plus c. This is going to be your final integration form in this case, okay? That's your answer for integration of, let's say, x raised to the power 3. Now, how do you prove that integration is the correct step, or how do you prove that your answer is right? So this is the most important part, is we can always check whether the answer we have got is correct. So what I mean by this is when now convert the integration form into differentiation. So we're going to do dy over dx, or let's say in that case d over dx of this equation, x raised to the power 4 divided by 4 plus c is going to become, going to split the differentiation for these two terms individually. So that's going to become d over dx plus c, right? If you differentiate x raised to the power 4 divided by 4, that's going to become 4x, and 4 minus 1 divided by 4, right? If you differentiate that form, and you're going to cross out these values, they're going to become -1, and plus 0, since c is just a constant of integration and constants values should be 0, you're technically getting x raised to the power of +3. And this seems to correlate with the original equation of what we had to do the integral or find the value of that integral. So you can see that the answer we have got is correct, as it leads back to the original notation. All right, let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is to find the, let's say, the integral of a constant number, in this case 6. So what you do is you just need to write y is equivalent to 6 and add an x plus c. This is similar to the m of y equals mx plus c equation, where c is just a y-intercept in that case. But the equation is going to be this. You're going to add c and you're going to add the constant of integration. By the way, this c here is the constant of integration. So do remember that the reason why we add positive c to most of the answers as well. This is the constant of integration. Let's move on to the third question. Now the third question is a little bit of a challenging type question. So what you need to do is you have to split these terms now. We're going to expand the brackets and we're going to simplify the equation fully so that we can, let's say, we can rewrite this in a more easily integrable form. So we can integrate each term easily. So what I mean by this, I'm going to show you guys how to do this. So you have f inverse x, right, is equivalent to x plus 3. Put in brackets. You're going to expand the brackets. By the way, write the square root of x in terms of x raised to the power half. That's pretty valuable in terms of understanding the equation much more better. Okay, all we're doing is now we have to make this all, we're not integrating anything, we're just simplifying this equation so that we understand it better. So you have x raised to the power of 2 plus 6x plus 9 divided by x raised to the power half. What we're going to do now is you're going to split these terms together. So x raised to the power 2 divided by x raised to the power half plus 6x divided by x raised to the power half plus 9 divided by x raised to the power half. Now all we're going to do again now is to simplify. I'm just going to write this stuff here. I'm just putting an arrow there. It's equivalent to, actually I'm just going to write it here so it's easy for you guys to see. It's going to be equivalent to x raised to the power 2 minus, let's do 2 minus half plus 6x 1 minus half plus 9x raised to the power negative half. We're just writing all this in terms of terms. 2 minus half, that is going to become 3 by 2 plus 6x 1 minus half. That is going to give you half plus 9x raised to the power of half. Now this is going to be your value in this case when we have simplified this form. By the way, we haven't integrated any of this, so that's step 2. This all we did now is just step 1, where we're just making this in a most simplified form. Now the main part we're going to do is we're going to integrate this equation. Okay, so we have found the simplified version. Now we have to integrate it. So x raised to the power 3 plus 6x raised to the power half plus 9x raised to the power negative 2. You're going to add a positive 1 to all of them, since that's what the equation states, and you're going to divide it by the new power, right? That's 3 by 2 plus 1. You're going to divide it by half plus 1. You're going to divide it by negative half plus 1. This is going to give you your new equations, or let's say your new form of notation, which is going to become x raised to the power 3 by 2 plus 1. That is going to give you 5 by 2 divided by 5 by 2 plus 6x half plus 1. That's going to give you, let's say, 3 by 2 as well, divided by 3 by 2 plus 9x raised to the power negative half plus 1. That's going to give you half divided by half. And always write positive c. That's when we have actually integrated each term. We have to remember to add the positive c. Now, this is going to be your value in terms of f of x, right? We're going to write it down here, f of x, which is going to be equivalent to x raised to the power 5 by 2 divided by 5 by 2 plus 6x raised to the power 3 by 2 plus 9x divided by half plus c. Now this is going to give you your value here. Now we have found out the integrated form of all of this. Now we just need to simplify this as well so that we can understand or read this much better. So it's going to become f of x. When you take this on the other side, when you take it on the top, this is going to become 2 by 5th x raised to power 5 by 2 plus, all I'm just doing is I'm writing this in a better notation. We're taking 3 by half on the top just by multiplying the reciprocals of 3 by 2 with the equation. So you get 4 x raised to power 3 by 2 plus 18 x raised to power half. I'm just changing all these fractions into positive numbers by multiplying their reciprocals with the values plus c. Now this is a better form of writing it down fully, f of x. Now the question that is asked is to find out f of x when f of x is equivalent to 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to add positive 1 to the whole equation. So what I mean by that is you're literally going to add 1 in that. So you're going to have f of 1 is going to become 2 by 5th 1 raised to power 5 by 2. Now I'm just going to check if 1 raised to power 5 by 2 is anything significant. It just becomes 1 in this case. So it's just going to be 1 raised to power 3 by 2 plus 18 times 1 raised to power half plus c's value doesn't change, but they are equivalent to 25 since they have mentioned that f brackets 1 is equivalent to 25. So once you do that, you're just going to write this down like this. So you're going to have 2 dots there, and yeah, 2 by 5th, this is just going to become 2 by 5th plus 4 plus 18 plus c is equivalent to 25. All we need to do now is just to find c's value. 2 by 5th plus 4, I'm just going to put this in my calculator. You're getting 122.4 plus c is equivalent to 25. This is just basic algebra substitution. You're going to get the value of c to be 25 minus 22.4. This is going to become 2.6. So c's value in terms of fractions is 13 by 5. Now we have actually found out the differentiated form of what this is, since they have asked us to find f of x, not in terms of integral form. So f of x is going to become equivalent to now the equation step. What we've got is 2 by 5 x raised to power 5 by 2 plus 4x raised to power 3 by 2 plus 18x raised to power half plus 13 by 5. This is going to be your final answer in terms of solving this question. That was a pretty long question. I think it's worth more than 4 marks. Approximately 5 or 6 marks in total for this type of equation. Okay, I'm just showing you guys working so that you guys can see it much more clearly. Yeah, let's move on to the fourth question. Now the fourth question is, now we're dealing with more integration type questions. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the integral sign of y dx. So what we're going to do, the first step is y. Integral sign of y dx, that's going to become 2x 3 raised to power is going to be at positive 1. 5x2, just add positive 1, negative x. Since x is 1 raised to power 1, you're going to add positive 1 to the power. And 10 is going to, since these are constants, right? These are just numbers. You're just going to add x there. And you're going to divide this by the new power, 3 plus 1. That is 4. Divided by 3, divided by 2. And 10x just remains same. And you're going to add a positive c integer there, since that positive c represents the constant of integration. That's so critical when dealing with this type of question. 2 by 4, that's going to become half. So that's going to become half x raised to power of 4 plus 5 by 3 x raised to power 3 minus 7 by 2 x raised to power 2 plus 10x plus c. Now this is a form of integration, and this is going to be your final answer for finding out the integration form of y dx. Okay, you just add 1 to all the powers and divide it by the new power that you have found. And for numbers like these, you're just going to put x and always add the positive c to represent the integration form. Now let's move on to the fifth question. Now the fifth question uses the idea of integration fully, but it uses curves as well. So we might draw a cubic equation in this type of question. So the first thing is the question states that the curve f of x goes through the point 2, 8, and f inverse x is equivalent to 6x brackets x minus 1. So the first step that we have to do is we have to find the integral form of this. It means we have to find the integral form. By the way, constant is always differentiating to a zero form. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the brackets first. So what we're going to do is you're going to have, I'm just going to use the blue font here. Yeah, okay. So it's f, that symbol, okay, f inverse x is equivalent to 6x squared minus 6x. So we have just expanded the brackets for this equation. Then what you're going to do is we're going to find the integral form of this. So it's going to become f of x is going to become the integral form of 6x squared minus 6x dx. Okay, once you do that, you're going to have f of x. By the way, f of x is just the opposite form of this integration form. Okay, you're going to convert from f of x to this part here is called integration, where you're converting that equation back into the real process. Whereas if you convert from differentiation, you're converting that to integration in this case. All right, okay. So f of x is going to be equivalent to 6x. In this case, f of x is going to become 6x raised to power, since this is 2, right? This is a positive 1, 1. Since this is going to be 2, you're going to add 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1. I'm just going to show you a question here. Divided by 2 plus 1 minus 6x raised to power 1. Add a positive 1. 1 plus 1 divided by the new power, plus a positive c. We always have to add the positive c. Now this is going to be equivalent to 6x raised to power 3 divided by 3 minus 6x raised to power 2 divided by 2 plus c. We're going to simplify this, so we get 6, 2, 3, and you're going to make it 2x raised to power 3 minus 3x raised to power 2 plus c. This is going to be your final equation in this case. We are not going to leave it as it is. We have integrated the equation, that is true. Now the question is asking us to find f of x fully, since it goes through the curve. F of x goes through the point 2, 8. They have given us 2, 8. 2, 8 could be x, y. So x value here is 2, y value here is 8. And have they given us any other values? No other values. All you need to do is just substitute the value of x. So we're just going to use x value, and in this case x value as well as y's value. So it's going to become, y's value is going to be put in f of x. As we know, f of x is going to become equivalent to y is equal to 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus c. We have to find out the constant of integration. So 8 is going to be put in y's value, 2 raised to power 3 minus, we're just going to substitute x value also into the equation to find out what c stands for. Now I'm just going to use my calculator here, guys, just to understand the question much more better. So you have 4 plus c is equivalent to 8. C is going to become equal to 8 minus 4. That is going to become 4. C is going to be 4. The value of c now we know is 4. Once you do that, here we're going to have the final equation, or the final answer as f of x is going to be equivalent to 2x raised to power 3 minus 3x raised to power 2 plus 4. This is going to be your final answer. If you want to draw this on the graph, it might, if you sketch this, it might look like somewhat at this point of positive 4. It's going to lie somewhere around this value here. So it's going to be here, and this point is going to be 2, 8. That's just sketching a rough sketch of what a cubic equation would look like on a graphical notation. So this is going to be your final answer, what we have found in this type of question. I'm just going to show you the working so you guys can take down notes on how to solve this type of question. We have used both the x and y values in both the cases. Right, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot. And do comment below on what your thoughts are about this video, and if you guys would like to see more videos coming up. And I think that's it. All right, bye guys.